And we want to thank the Shed Kings, Anthony and Curtis, for sponsoring our Community Spotlight program here on KRIM, broadcasting live from the Sawmill Theater Complex on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Hope you guys having a great day, and hope everyone enjoyed that beautiful rain. Wow, that was great to get the rain, and a little bit of a shocker. June 1st, June 2nd, getting rain. Hey, oh well, we'll take it. Well, this morning in the studio we have District 1 County Supervisor Steve Christensen. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, how are you?
Doing great, doing great. Again, just loving the rain. It's so nice.
And rare this time of year.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. We were looking before the program, and wow, it looks like Phoenix broke a 111-year record.
Right, and a very small amount, only a quarter of an inch.
Quarter of an inch, yeah.
But it broke the record.
But it broke the record, yeah, the record before that, 0.2 inches, so
it doesn't rain first part of June. Usually June's our dry time.
Yeah, no, so that was great. We know the forest loved getting that rain.
Cools it down.
Yeah.
Humidity's up a little. All the plants are loving it.
Yes, yep, so again, very, very grateful for that. So we are going to be talking Gila County today, and I know you always have a nice long list of different projects or things that are happening in Gila County. And just to maybe for those listening, watching for the first time, to understand, I guess, how the districting, how it works. So you are the District 1 Supervisor for Gila County, and your district mainly is Payson. But then also Pine Strawberry, I believe, in kind of what other areas? Yeah,
that's in a nutshell the district that I represent. And so the political boundaries that are set up in the United States have districts. So we have congressional districts. And in Gila County we have 3 districts. And so there's 3 representatives for the Board of Supervisors, one from each district. And then in a sense, then that is where we are representing our constituency, because you live within your district, you understand your district, you represent those people as a board member. And but Gila County is largely very similar all the way through. I mean, even though it's diverse economically, it's diverse with vegetation and all those things, we are pretty much just a rural county. The north up here where Payson is timber country. It's where it's growing more in this area than it is in some of the other areas. So yeah, each one kind of brings its own thing, but then in a sense you represent the whole county too.
There you go. So and the other 2, you mentioned 3 districts. District 2 Supervisor is Woody Klein, and then District 3 Supervisor Tim Humphreys.
It's the other way though.
Oh, District 3 Woody Klein.
Is Woody.
Thank you. Okay, and District 2 Tim Humphreys. So yeah, it's very interesting. And then also having to, and recently there was that readjustment because of populations changing, and that's something that why that is done is to keep the representation even or equal, to where one supervisor maybe isn't representing 40 or 50% of the county.
Yeah, not only that, but the demographic too. So you're not trying to represent strictly one political area that has a dominant political, even though Gila County is quite Republican. It's what's called gerrymandering. If you try and say, well, I want all of the, let's say the affluent people, or all the people that are registered Republican, or I want all the people that are of what I feel will continue to re-elect me, then that's called gerrymandering. So it has to be balanced in a sense. So we try and do that. We did change some of those lines, and that's why we do a census in the United States every 10 years. And so we're halfway through this one, and then we'll do another one. But I don't believe we'll probably need to change any of the lines. We can keep them the same as long as it's no more than 10% difference.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so, and when the changes are made, it's not like, well, where do we make it? There's a committee formed on where you're going to make the changes, okay, or suggestions, and then the board votes on that. And each change has to be for a political, the word I got, the precincts, that's it. Okay, so within the districts, there's all these different precincts. And so that is the part that gets changed. If, say, Precinct 5 in Payson would go to another supervisor, it would already have to be adjoining currently what he has or she has. And so it has to meet some criteria there. And so the last time we made changes up here in the north, we changed to 2 precincts that went to District 3, Woody. And that was basically from Geronimo Estates to Whispering Pines, all the way out Colcord Road that way.
Wow.
All of that moved over to him. Tono Village, Christopher Creek, all of that.
There we go.
So
some projects happening here in town. I see work is still continuing on the county building.
it is, and the town is actually working on Colcord Road out there too, and so that's kind of messing up the entrances into our property. We only have one way in and one way out right now, and so that's a little complex, but we're looking at having the court remodel done on schedule, maybe even before.
Nice.
And so we'll be moving them back in July. And so we'll make sure we announce that, and it's in the paper.
Gotcha.
But we plan on having the courts back in their offices and everything in July, and somewhere probably around mid-July. We don't have a hard date, but right now they're spread out. They're over on the Longhorn property and by that gas station that used to be called Sierra Pacific, but it's something else now, I think. And it's over kind of near the high school. Anyway, there's that, and then some of the court stuff is actually in the Tommy Klein Martin building right now, offices. So they're all going to be moving back in there.
Yeah, and that should be, what was the time frame or the completion date, August or July?
It was, we needed to be out of the senior center building that we're leasing by August or September, and we're gonna meet that real easy.
Oh, good.
And so it's on schedule, it's ahead of schedule, and it was a pretty big remodel, 1.8 million. We had to sprinkler both up and downstairs, and we added on to the front of it a little bit. Lots of remodeling. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
And that was all paid for by COVID money, which is nice. Didn't have to come from the taxpayers directly in Gila County.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So what else are we looking at in Gila County or District 1?
Well, an interesting thing that's happened recently is our county recorder, Sadie Jo Bingham, she resigned, and so then the Board of Supervisors needed to appoint someone to fill that position. And we had a few recommendations, and Sadie Jo actually recommended one of her people that was already working there, and her name is Wendy Smith.
Okay.
So we appointed her, and she seems very good and capable. I'm real encouraged to think she's going to do well with that. And then, because it's an appointment, even though it's a 4-year term, the appointment only lasts until the next regular election, which would be midterms. And so then whoever wants the job at that point is going to have to run for it, including Wendy if she wants it.
Gotcha.
Everybody's got to run for it. And that'll be in, what, a year and a half now?
Yes.
Yeah, year and a half.
Yeah, a year and a half. Wow. I know. It'll be here before we know.
Oh, yeah, yeah. There's already people talking about running, for governor and everything else. It's already starting, so.
There we go.
And then another thing that we just did was we've been without a clerk of the board. Now that's the Board of Supervisors. There's 2 clerks. There's clerk of the court, clerk of the board. And the clerk of the board serves the Board of Supervisors as, how do I describe the job? They literally do everything paperwork-wise. The agendas, the filing all of that stuff and putting together all of that information, storing that information, and all of that. And so it's a very important position, and we've been without one for a while, and so the Marion Shepherd, who used to be the clerk of the board, who retired, came back to help. And we're in a transition right now. And so what we did was we did hire a new clerk of the board. I think it was about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. We actually, we hired a young lady that worked for, actually Sadie Jo Bingham. Her name is Charlotte, and her last name is hard, but it's Asararan Nizami. Asararan Nizami.
Well, that's a
hard name.
That is.
And then she has an assistant, Maria Cook. And so we hired them to do that job. They're training right now, and it's coming along real well.
That is great. Also, want to mention there was a group of, well, part of Gila County out at Pups in the Pines. Had a great event. I want to thank Kiwanis, Town of Payson for putting on a great event, and Gila County Sheriff's Office K9 unit came out and gave a great demonstration. Just did a lot of different scenarios, and everyone out there really enjoyed that. They did a wonderful job.
That was at Rumsey 1?
At Rumsey 1, that's right across from the library, and it was, yeah, a really well-attended event. It used to be Gone to the Dogs. So Gone to the Dogs was the former name, and now the name's been changed to Pups in the Pines. And yeah, it was a great event, but again, Gila County K9, just wanted to publicly recognize them and thank them, mention it to you also. They did just a great job, really good job.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. K9s are a marvelous tool.
Oh my gosh, and
Marvelous.
yes, and I would never, ever, ever want to be bit by one of them.
No.
If I was doing something that I was not supposed to be doing, and there was a K9 unit there,
and he's yelling, "I'm going to let the dog go."
Yeah, if you don't do this, whatever it is, I would, okay, I will do whatever,
Yeah.
I will. Yeah.
You're not going to win that battle.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the animals, just amazing how well they're trained, how effective too. I was talking to one of the deputies, and you know, it is, as you I think used the word tool, resource, you know, it's a great tool for officers, deputies to have, so they don't have to, you know, they have something to use before deadly force. If it gets, you know, to a situation where, you know, and they're not putting themselves, officers or deputies, they're still in danger, but they deploy that K9 to diffuse the situation, and they don't have to use deadly force, but the situation is diffused, the K9 takes care of it, and there we go.
If you've ever watched YouTube videos of helicopter footage of them releasing a dog on somebody, it's amazing how fast that dog can run.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like they live for it. And so they'll jump, grab hold of the guy kind of high on his body, his shirt or something, and then there's no way, that guy, the dog just brings him down.
Yeah.
Now the other thing though that really is beneficial with these animals is they're catching a lot of drugs coming through town.
Yes. Yep, which is wonderful for everyone in the community.
They can smell them, so
great.
Yep, they pull somebody over, bring a dog over, and the dog's like, yep, there's something in there.
So yeah, the example that was given, and you mentioned how quickly, the example that was given by one of the deputies was, he said in this situation, you know, they had recently, they you know, went back, looked at the video, and it took a total of 27 seconds from the time the dog was deployed to the time that they were pulling the dog off of the individual and had the individual handcuffed. And
27 seconds.
27 seconds.
Yep.
It's like, oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah,
really good.
That is. So, yeah, so kudos to those guys, the Gila County Sheriff's Office, K9 Department, again, a big thank you. So, boy, you know, recent rain, it makes me think of the bridge. You know, I want to talk about the bridge and how great an accomplishment that was for Gila County and Tonto Basin. Hopefully, you know, this monsoon season, we'll get to see maybe the water going under there.
Yes, and no risk to life.
Yes,
like we've had.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that is what's such a great thing for the
So it cost almost 30 million to do that, 26, 27, something in there, of which Gila County had to contribute 3 or 3.5.
Wow.
Okay, and so, but you think,
Small
okay,
percentage.
50 years from now, we'll look back and go, can you believe they built a bridge that cheap?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it'll still be there.
That's like it's like everything. The cost of infrastructure, you know, building costs, it's not going to decrease.
Well, like we're doing a lot of roads right now, and the weather's warmer, so we're going to be doing a lot of chip sealing and different things like that. I couldn't list off all the roads, but we got quite a few projects, a lot up here in the north, actually, in Pine and Strawberry, Gibson Ranch Road, Cemetery Road up in Pine, and then Geisela Road, we were going to do some more there. But we got into, again, some inferior oil. So this project, we started with the Geisela Road, and discovered, and we're doing it ourselves this time, we're not hiring it out, and the oil was not of the right quality, which means that it takes longer to dry, or maybe it doesn't dry.
Oh.
Okay, so
that's not good if it
not good. So we're like,
dry, yeah.
we ended up getting a different supplier. We shifted gears. It only delayed maybe 2 weeks worth of work. And we're back on track now with new supplier, new oil,
good.
Quality product, so that we don't run into those issues again. And so, expect projects. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that has to be frustrating for the crews, for
Very.
everyone doing the work. Obviously, you don't want to ever, you know, be tearing up work that you've just done, or
Yeah.
have the work not, you know, function properly.
Well, see, what happened with Geisela last year is we had a company that came in and they warrantied their work, but they actually took out both lanes of traffic, both lanes of the road, and dug it down, and it was a chip seal road, it wasn't pavement, and so then they fixed or created the base they needed, and then they went ahead and chip sealed both sides
Yes.
instead of one side.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so then you couldn't get through. It was like we're waiting for it to dry.
Yeah.
It's not drying, and then they started letting traffic through before it was ready, and then it got tar and oil all over everybody. And so then we had to clean that up. And it was at least a fiasco. And so try not to duplicate that. So when I heard that we had an oil issue again, I said, let's not do that twice in a row. So, but the guys we have are amazing. We have our own equipment, and so we're gonna do that. And we're not taking the road apart this time. We're just adding to the top to try and smooth it out. There's a few potholes and stuff that formed. It just was less than adequate work. And then Gibson Ranch Road out over to, you know, upper and lower Round Valley.
Yeah. Oh, that one, yeah. That
Really
was,
bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that road, it's, what is, do you know, or did they say what is causing? Because it's not like it's potholes. It's like,
Yeah, it's
waves
just the whole
almost.
base and everything is a mess.
Gotcha.
A lot of the roads that we actually work on are Forest Service roads, and I think that's a
Okay.
Forest Service road there. The county actually doesn't own very many roads, but we have a contract, and so the government kind of halfway gives us money to do that stuff. But if we don't do it, it just will never get done. So we get money from HERF, which is the tax that you pay at the pumps. So we get money from them to do a lot of this stuff. We do get some from the Forest Service or the federal government as a result of having to take care of the approximately 500 miles that they have. And so it's a constant battle because most of the stuff that we do is dirt, and dirt actually is a lot more maintenance than pavement. So you can blade dirt and the next day have it completely destroyed again.
Yeah.
With traffic. And we get a lot of people from the valley and from other places coming up here for tourism, and they're the ones doing it. It's not just the locals. And there's no equity in that issue. So the HERF money, and Several of the other things like emergency management and different things like that are all based on population and not really on maybe tourism or usage or the amount of people using it. And so it's uneven, it's not quite equitable, and there's really not a whole lot I can do about that. I can't just call somebody and make a change because it's all committed already. It's like 100% of the money is committed to all 15 counties. And I can't call up and just say, well, I don't want Maricopa to have their percentage, I want some of their percentage. Well, they're not going to go for that.
They would. That would be their response, I think, kind of a, wait, what?
Yeah, and so, I mean, a lot of those things, the only way they'll change is through legislative action to either supplement the money, provide more money, increase the tax, whatever it is, you know. So, and now with the advent of electrical cars, we have to come up with a way of having them pay for the use of the road.
Yes, because they're using the roads, but not paying the tax at the gas pump.
Right, and so they're looking at doing registration costs and stuff like that. I'm not sure if they've actually passed legislation on that yet. Again, the state legislature has to do that along with the governor signing it.
Yeah.
Those are kind of big hurdles.
Yeah, that, again, because that would be enacted statewide. It's not like Gila County, you and the other supervisors can say, hey, we're going to put this tax on the registration of electric vehicles in Gila County.
Yeah, we can't do that. Yeah, no. So a lot of issues are either national or state solutions that the county. Yeah.
There we go. So what else did you want to?
Well, there was that. Did you hear? I was talking with Mark Reynolds, who runs the Hash Knife. He's going to be doing that in November, he said.
Okay. Yeah, I have not heard. Did they have a?
There's no hard date, but he said first part of November is their plan.
Gotcha.
And so we'll see the Hash Knife come through the first part of November. And then he said we're going to resume it back up to a normal schedule sometime in January, February, right in there.
Gotcha.
So we should see them kind of like almost back to back there.
Well, and I know the reason why they'll be doing one this year is so they can continue that, because it's been every year for
68,
yeah,
67.
Yeah, something.
And
in
so
there.
they don't want to miss their annual ride.
No, so if they don't do one this year, that would end that.
That would end that.
So they need to do
Start
one this
over.
year, and then it sounds like they'll be back on their normal schedule.
Right. And so that's the Hash Knife ride from Holbrook all the way into Scottsdale, right through Payson.
Yeah, great group of guys and a great tradition. And I was real excited when we had the opportunity, county and town of Payson, to erect the statue, Hash Knife Pony Express statue, in front of the county building.
Yes.
It was great.
Yeah, I really thank you and the town of Payson for stepping up. You guys said we want to be a part of that. And that really helped.
Well, and the county providing the land, and it just made sense. It makes so much sense. Right across from the post office, Hash Knife Pony Express, certified, or what they're sworn in as U.S. postal carriers.
Yep.
And they carry the mail, so they come into the post office, and so right across from the post office, that statue right in the background to honor them. And it's
And if
great.
you haven't seen that, just go down to the county complex there on Main and Beeline, and you'll see it over there. You go over there and take some pictures in front of it. There's a plaque on one side that indicates a little bit about what the Hash Knife Pony Express is, and some of the people that were involved in getting that put together.
Yeah, no, that it is great to have that in town, just to honor and recognize that history and how Payson has been a part of that history for all those years. So that's exciting. That's great news. I really look forward to seeing those guys, Mark, his brother Steve, all the other riders in November. And then it sounds like hopefully everything will be back on track
Back on track. So another memorial in Gila County is down in Globe, just did it about a month ago, and it's called the First Responders Memorial.
Oh, yes.
And that was in the paper, but it's down there by the museum. It's right on Broad Street in Globe, which is what I call a highway. And so Was down there for that, and so there was about 50-some names on there of people like sheriffs, deputies, people that worked in search and rescue, people that were firefighters, the Dude Fire, you know, we lost 6, I think, there. And all of those kind of people that lost their lives in first responding kind of situations, going all the way back in Gila County to its formation, which was, I think, 1881. And of course, back then we still had Indian wars, and so there's quite a few sheriffs and Indian deputies that are on the plaque. I was kind of surprised how many there were before we actually got to 1900.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was good. It was a great celebration, a real worthy thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's, yeah, really good. Looking at, see a picture here online.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
It's funny, they've like filled up the one side completely
yeah.
with names. The back side is still wide open, so I
Gotcha.
guess, and I hope we don't need to do it, but if we need to add more names, I think we can do it on the other side. I don't know what their plan is. I wasn't really a part of that.
Gotcha.
So.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, we have a few more minutes. Is there anything else?
Well, people might not know, but we did have a fire up at the landfill at Buckhead Mesa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did. Something happened in the garbage pile. They're not quite sure. It was about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And started smoking. And then started uncovering it, and then you discover it's kind of like a lot going on in there.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So it could have been a battery, it could have been something. It probably was not ashes or actual fire, but you never know. And so I really want to thank Pine Strawberry Fire Department for showing up. Payson Fire Department showed up. All of our county personnel showed up with all of our water tenders. I mean, it was like all hands on deck. Because we didn't want it to get away, and it was a very windy day, and it was, I mean, you could see the smoke from town. It was kind of burning.
Yes.
And so I went ahead and went out there just to check on it, and they were working on it hard. I mean, they were really throwing a lot of water on it, and then they were moving it around, you know, with the bulldozer. And they had the thing out really locked up and tidy within a couple hours. So, yeah.
And this is interesting, so reading the article and the Payson Roundup about this, Pine Strawberry Fire Department was dispatched around noon, May 19th, after receiving reports of fire at the landfill from APS. His AI cameras had
it was their AI camera that picked it up.
Smoke.
Not our personnel. Can you believe that?
Well,
our people were there and didn't see it.
Yeah, well, and it could be a case, I mean, if they were, because it's a pretty large, you know, area.
But see, this is a camera that's looking for smoke.
Yes.
It's not that some human eyes saw it.
No.
This is a camera that said, uh-oh, there's something going on over there, and alerted them.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it was a tiny amount of smoke, and and APS has set up a lot of these cameras now in the Rim Country in Gila County to pick up any fires.
Well, which is amazing. You think about it, it's a great tool. If they have these cameras on their power lines or along their power lines, that camera, just like you said, it's AI, so it's not a person that has to be monitoring the screen, but that AI, if they see smoke, it alerts APS so they can remove power to the lines, they can do whatever, contact local agencies, whatever it is, but they can respond that much quicker rather than it possibly, you know, getting out of control or getting too.
Well, I can see this going forward because the Forest Service for many years has had these little towers that people climb up into, and they sit there all summer or whatever, and they have binoculars and they watch, and then they say, okay, I have smoke at this location, and then they triangulate to try and figure out where it is. I can see now where if they set cameras up in that, they might be able to actually detect something before people will notice it.
And depending on the camera, you can have cameras, oh my goodness, that are, you know, can see so much better than the human eye, even with binoculars or whatever, where these cameras could zoom in, see exactly what it is, and then capture that image, send it to an agency, so the agency knows exactly what they're looking at,
Right.
what's happening. Like you said, the detection, if that camera's scanning, constantly scanning,
Yep.
as soon as that's detected, boom, you know, it is reported. So,
There's
yeah.
there's power lines everywhere, just think about that. I mean, even though that's kind of a big brother thing, you know, with
Yeah.
cameras everywhere, we already got cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
But in detecting wildfires, if we can detect it early, we can jump on it more quickly and hopefully keep it from becoming too large
Yes.
or
Yeah.
out of control.
Yes. Well, there we go. Well, it is 10:30. It is
Been
that
good,
time.
yeah, been
So,
good show.
yeah, very good. And thank you so much, Steve, for
Yeah.
coming in,
Happy to.
sharing, and letting all of our listeners, viewers know what's happening in Gila County and specifically District 1 of Gila County. So, want to thank everyone for listening and watching this morning. Also, again, a big thank you to the Shed Kings for sponsoring our Community Spotlight program. And now a message from them, then an update from the National Weather Service, and back to the music with some John Cougar, REM, Billy Joel, and more. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you again for listening and watching.
Welcome to Shed Kings, offering 2 convenient locations in Star Valley and Overguard, Arizona.
Hey there, I'm Curtis. And I'm Anthony. And we're the Shed Kings, home of the rent-to-own, no credit check program.
We offer barns, sheds, garages, cabins, and steel buildings, all built to last. Proudly representing Graceland Portable Buildings, industry leaders for over 20 years. Need something larger? We also represent American Steel Buildings for unmatched durability and the best warranties in the business. Quality matters. If there was a better constructed building on the market, we would be selling it.
Shed Kings made it so easy. The quality's unbeatable. I love it so much, I joined the team.
Enjoy enhanced floor and wall durability, optimized fasteners, and budget-friendly options. Choose from a wide variety of styles and colors to fit your needs. Graceland Portable Buildings has the highest customer quality ratings year after year.
So come see us in person and experience the Shed Kings difference, because we have the shed you've been looking for. If not, we can build it. Call or visit us to get started.